area, and we expect Dominicans, the general public, to prepare and have your hurricane plans activated and ready for whatever comes our way. I just want to say thank you for your time, and the Met Office will continue keeping you updated. You can visit our website at weather.gov.dm for any further updates.
Thank you, Mr. James. Mr. Fitzroy Pascal is the National Disaster Preparedness Coordinator, and I'll now invite him to address this.
Good evening to the listening and viewing public. At 5 p.m. this evening, Dominica was placed under tropical storm warning as Tropical Storm Tammy approaches the Lesser Antilles, including Dominica. A tropical storm warning means that tropical storm conditions, are expected somewhere within the warning area within 36 hours. Note well that information regarding the progressive development of Tammy has been in circulation by the National Disaster Management System for several days. This means that by now, all preparedness actions by the public, including the business community, should have been completed and plans ready for activation. By now, emergency kits should have been already packed with the necessary supplies. The National Emergency Operations Center, or the NEOC, has been activated as of 5 p.m. this evening. The emergency services and first responders are activated. As is customary, heavy equipment will be pre-positioned to ensure limited downtime, continued access, and ease of mobility. During the passage of Tammy, the public should be on alert as the usual hazards of heavy rains, gusty winds up to tropical storm strength, flash flooding, landslides, and rough seas are expected. People living near rivers, ravines, and other waterways are reminded to be on alert during heavy rains and be ready to move to safety as required. All should take the time to ensure that waterways are cleared to reduce flood impact. Importantly, the ODM strongly discourages walking, swimming, or driving through flood waters. Additionally, mariners and fisher folks by now should have secured fishing vessels and other equipment until further guidance is provided. People who live along coastlines should be on alert for rough seas and storm surge that may threaten and be ready to move to a safe area. Shelter activation will be addressed by the local government commissioner. While the ODM and the broader NEPO, the National Emergency Planning Organization, are in a state of readiness, we continue to implore that the public should also do their part to reduce impacts on their lives and livelihood. Again, please listen to official sources for update and further guidance during the next 48 hours. Information is available on both websites of the ODM and the Dominica Meteorological Service to learn more about storm impacts and what actions to take during floods and landslides. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Fitzroy Pascal. Again, we are under tropical storm warning as at 5 p.m. this afternoon, and all shelters are open. Once there is talk of any pending weather conditions, people are concerned about shelters, and I'll now invite the chairman of the Shelters Committee, the Local Government Commissioner, Mr. Glenroy Tousse, to address us.
Let me say a very pleasant good evening to the listening and viewing public. As has been indicated, shelters were opened or activated as of 7 p.m. this evening. We have made available 101 emergency shelters for the general public. However, we've made some arrangements, and I want to outline those arrangements we've made for particular communities in Dominica. So at the regional shelter in Cassibrus, this shelter will serve the communities of Good Hope, Petit Soufriere, Saint-Sauveur, including Cassibrus. At the regional shelter in Jimmet, the communities will be to be accommodated: Maho, Jimmet, Massac, Canefield, Taru, Layupak, Sultan, and Campbell Desport. The Layu Regional Shelter will accommodate persons from the community of Coliho. And I just want to add additionally that residents of Coolibistry will be accommodated at the Monrachet Resource Center, the residents of Miro at the John Caleb Laura Primary School in St. Joseph, and of course we have the residents from Bourne who will be accommodated at both the Portsmouth Secondary School and the Dodan Primary School. I just want to encourage everyone to be mindful of their responsibilities as have been indicated, and we're encouraging those of you who should have been at the shelter already or were planning to be at the shelter, please, we're encouraging you to come with some of your supplies. And the basic supplies, referring to some water to last at least 36 to 48 hours. Some dry foods, we're talking about biscuits and canned foods. Very importantly, your medication. We know there are people who want prescription medication, and we're encouraging people to work with that medication. Of course, very importantly, people consider their belongings and the documents. You put that in a safe plastic bag and you take it to the shelter. We will, as a customary, we will enforce our shelter rules. There are shelter rules and regulation, and so we're talking of no weapons, knife, cutlasses, guns, or anything of that nature. We expect, as the Prime Minister indicating, that people should be praying, so we're asking and encouraging each other to be each other's brother, each other's keeper. We know we have some senior citizens who are not so in tune with the noise, so we're asking people to lower the level of noise and just importantly be each other's brother, each other's keeper. That is significant. And so we want to encourage people to go to the shelters. Should have been there, but do that as soon as possible. Do not wait until the rain bans and the stormy weather and the winds to begin to approach the shelters and create that sort of chaotic condition. We are not calling for that. We are calling for tranquility. We're calling for togetherness. We're calling for unity. We're all in this thing together. It's our responsibility to ensure that each other is safe, in a safe environment. And so we are just encouraging and asking everyone, once you're in the shelter, please adhere to the rules, the shelter rules and regulations, and let's all ride the storm comfortably, and let's all be safe in a safe environment. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Glenroy Tousse. Honorable Rayburn Blackmore is the Minister of National Security. He's also here with us, but we'll now invite questions from the media, starting, of course, with Curtis Matthew.
Thank you very much, Mr. Darrell Teed. I noticed that employees have been asked to work tomorrow. Yes, employees have been asked to work tomorrow. I also heard the weather forecaster indicated that activity from the storm should begin by tomorrow at 8 o'clock in the morning. I just wanted an explanation on what basis do we now ask employees to be on the job for the entire day tomorrow. Thank you very much, Mr. T. If I have the opportunity, I'll come back again.
Prime Minister.
Well, as we say, we keep monitoring the situation. We take decisions based on advice and what we expect at any particular period of time in respect to when the storm will start affecting us in any significant way. We will keep on monitoring tonight. If there is a view that we should call off work tomorrow, then we will make that decision. But as of now, we're not in a position to say, well, there's no work tomorrow. The other thing too is that we have to also be practical in this, that there are businesses, even including the public service, who will require staff to come in to also organize and to help with the preparation of those businesses for the storm. But if the situation warrants us to call off work tomorrow, then we shall do so. So we're not in any deliberate way saying to come to work just to come to work. We will keep monitoring, and of course, based on the advice, and I will take the appropriate action. But in order to minimize the number of people who will be traversing across the country, we figure let us keep the most vulnerable home, children. So this is why we always take a decision to keep children home, so that we don't have the situation of the vulnerable kids, children are out, and so forth. So, and of course, we're informing them early enough so that their parents can make the necessary arrangements for them. But rest assured, we're not taking a decision just to say you must come to work. No, we'll keep monitoring. This was as of 5 p.m. Today. Obviously, the Met Office and the ODM and others will keep monitoring and provide advice almost every 2 hours, or every hour. So we'll be in regular contact and so on. Sure. Our hope is that the tropical storm will move further away from Dominica. That's our hope. That's our prayer. That's it. That's what we're hoping for. That's what we're praying for. But we're also preparing in the event that it will to affect us, as we currently anticipate it will. So we keep hoping that it can move away from us. But we're preparing nonetheless. But certainly we will keep monitoring on a regular basis, as we've done in the past. And if there's need for us to say everybody should stay home tomorrow, then we shall take a decision. Our preoccupation in all of this always is to protect lives first, livelihoods and property second. But first and foremost is to protect lives and ensure that everybody's alive and after the storm. Okay?
Thanks to the Honorable Prime Minister and other presenters this evening. We encourage everyone to stay tuned for updated information as it becomes available. Do have a good evening and stay safe. But before we wrap up completely, Honorable Rayburn Blackmore will give a few remarks.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Let me recognize in our presence the Honorable Prime Minister, and the fact that the Prime Minister was scheduled to return home on Saturday, came back today in light of the storm that is threatening us, speaks volumes to his leadership and commitment to serving the people of Dominica. I think the Prime Minister has actually crystallized everything nicely, but I just want to say further that over the years, we have done a lot to improve our infrastructure insofar as disaster mitigation and preparedness and response are concerned. And throughout the year, we have been planning training programs for the communities with the instrumentality of ODM and, of course, the Met Office, working in concert with the local government department. Of course, you heard just now from the chairman of the Shelters Committee. When you have a potential disaster situation on the horizon, the most you can do is to prepare for the worst case scenario and to hope for the best, as well from the Prime Minister. And that we are doing. I feel comforted this year that we have seen an improvement in reporting system, and our readiness is much improved to what previously obtained. And I think what is left to be seen, if the response becomes a necessity, is to see how quickly we can put into effect what we have been doing over the years, and I'm confident that will happen. I just want to say further that the police has ensured that all officers have been recalled from rest days, and to ensure that they can respond appropriately. Likewise, the fire department. So all the agencies within the response mechanism are actually fully motivated, fully ready. And of course, as you heard from the Prime Minister, the most we can do is to provide the infrastructure, to provide the personnel, and to provide the other enabling infrastructure, but the rest reside within us as individuals to respond and to respond appropriately. But fundamentally, one thing that we experienced the last time when the shelters were open, that people were kind of reluctant to go to the respective shelters. I think, especially people who are living in vulnerable areas, it's important that you move to the shelters as early as possible to avert the potential of any disaster, of injury to yourself. As you heard from the Prime Minister, fundamentally, our preoccupation is to protect lives. And then you, as an individual, has a responsibility to your own safety and security. So the shelters are open, they're well equipped, and what is left to be done is for you to ensure that you respond early enough. One of the things that we are doing this year is to augment our staff complement, especially within the fire department, in areas like Cassie Bruce and in La Plaine and in Granby, and to help with any potential rescue that has to be done. And I think ensuring that we have the assets ideally located in areas that are vulnerable is also key to our success in responding to any eventual or possible eventuality as a result of the impact of the storm. So let us continue to work hard. You can pray, but you must work towards achieving that prayer. And I don't think it makes sense if you know you live in a vulnerable area next to a river that has shown over the past years and weeks, as we experienced a couple weeks ago, to overflowing in banks, for you to stay there and to pray to God for nothing to happen to you. I believe God loves people who love themselves also, and to act appropriately. So let us pray for the best, and let us continue to do what we have to do from the home setting, firstly, the community, and from a national standpoint. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable Rayburn Blackmore. Again, thanks to Prime Minister Honorable Roosevelt Skerrit and the other presenters this evening. Our fisher folk, you still have time to take in your boats. Farmers, to ensure your livestock is moved to higher ground. Ensure all your documents are properly secured. Your family is safe. You still have time to do so. As you heard, as at 5 p.m. this afternoon, we are now under tropical storm warning. Schools will be closed tomorrow, and any further updates as to any other decision taken by government will be relayed to you. The state is in its own preparedness. It's up to you for your personal preparedness as we move forward. Do have a good evening, everyone, and stay safe.
Sorry.
Yes, Curtis, before, yes.
Yeah, I just wanted to find out, has any decision been taken activities for independence, Heritage Day, and all these cultural activities? Today, Thursday, can you give us a sort of hint as to whether you're planning to at least not have these activities, or these activities are going ahead?
Yeah, well, good question. That was also discussed it was raised rather at the National Emergency Planning Organization meeting this afternoon. Our position is that we will take things in strides, and we will make a determination as time goes by on some of the weekend activities. But certainly for tomorrow, we would have called off all national activities. There was supposed to be the National Awards for Agriculture, and this was called off, and the other activities from the national government standpoint. But in terms of Saturday, we've marked it a difference. We will make a determination by tomorrow on this. And of course, we have Heritage Day in Woodfordale on Sunday. So we will see how it goes, and then on advice, the appropriate actions will be taken. But rest assured, as always, we always put people first and people's safety first in this matter. So whatever actions we have to take at the appropriate time, we will not hesitate to take those actions and so on. But we have to take it in strides, in steps, and based on the advice coming from the Met Office and from the ODM, we will make some determinations on this. But just to reiterate, as everyone has done, we cannot keep saying enough that we have to prepare ourselves, and at the family level, at the community level. Okay, we're here to provide guidance, we're here to provide support, we're here to provide advice, we're here to provide encouragement, and we're here to help every one of us manage our anxiety, manage our fear, manage our concerns. But at the national level, we're doing everything possible, and to ensure that the state is in a position of preparedness, and equally important is that we are in a position to respond in the event that we were to be affected, God forbid. Thank you, and good night, everybody.